you get what you pay for, right? Sometimes you get a little bit more. And I believe Turtle Beach Recon Controller for Xbox has some amazing features regardless of its price point. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Bunty and today I'm taking a look at the Turtle Beach Recon Controller for Xbox Series consoles. First thing first, disclaimer. I purchased this controller at full price around 4 months ago and I have since played nearly every day. Let's take a look at the design of the controller and the features. In terms of looks and feel, it does look like a normal Xbox controller, but it is a little bit bigger in every direction, I believe. The grip feels a bit nicer in my hands, and the soft plastic, the soft rubber really helps for longer gaming sessions. Now, if you're coming from a normal Xbox controller, I don't think you'd have to learn how to grip this controller. This would feel right at home and it'll be fine. I came from an Elite Series 1 controller and yeah, it felt really nice. In terms of features, the controller has 2 remappable back buttons. You can assign any face button to these. And it has 4 profiles, so you can change on the fly what these back buttons do. In my opinion, that's the main feature of this controller. That's the reason I got it. The other extra things it has, it's got a dedicated volume button for your game volume, has a dedicated button for your chat volume, which is amazing if you speak to, if you play competitively online or if you speak to other people online. Amazing. Now it has some Turtle Beach exclusive stuff like the superhuman hearing. They say it gives you more positional awareness of footsteps and reload. I don't use that, but yep, if you want to use it, you can. Then it has these 4 EQs that one is like Turtle Beach signature, the other is bass boost. If you want to apply them to your game audio, you can. Then the main thing, you have profiles for the back buttons, the back 2 buttons. You can have up to 4 and you can assign any of the face buttons, which is a really, really good feature. Other thing is it has this Pro Focus mode where if you assign that, your right back button, if you hold it, your right thumbstick, the sensitivity lowers, and it has 4 settings, so you can decide how lower it goes. Again, I don't use that. If you wanted to, you could do something with that. Now let's compare it to the normal Xbox Series X controller and how does it feel and how different it is. In my opinion, it's only a little bigger, a little bit, but it's much lighter, especially if you have batteries in the Xbox controller. This is much lighter. Now, the normal controller, to my hand, it felt that the grip was a bit thin, and this Turtle Beach Recon addresses that really well. The grip is very nice. I can hold it, amazing, and button-wise, the presses, the Turtle Beach press, the face button, the Xbox face buttons, similar. The bumpers on the Xbox controller are a bit louder. These are very soft. Triggers have a bit of a texture, little bit more than the new Xbox controller texture, and there are no trigger stops here, so it's full travel. Now, comparing to the Elite controller, so I used to play with the Series 1 controller. That's where I did all my online gaming on, and this, after 6 years, gave up on me, so I bought the Turtle Beach. But if you're coming from the Elite controller has pedals at the back. The weight is heavier than the normal Xbox controller and the Turtle Beach controller, and in my opinion, I loved my Elite controller, the Series 1. I was used to, all this time I've played the Series 1 controller with 3 back pedals, 2 on the left side, 1 on the right side. That's how I always played. And unfortunately, the Turtle Beach Recon only has 2 back buttons. So that's that. But in terms of functionality, I think personal experience. Once I got used to just 2 buttons at the back, I think I still play as good as what I was playing with my Elite Series 1 controller. And the stick tension, I find the tension of the right, like both of the thumbsticks, it's a bit more than the Series 1 controller. I know the Series 2 controller you can actually change the tension, but the stick tension it's definitely it's a bit more. There's a lot more, bit more resistance than the normal or the Elite Series 1 controller. I actually like that. It's just the way you grip it, I think it's not bad. One thing on the Elite controller, I used to have the longer thumbstick on the right stick, the longer one, so just to aim, used to help me aim a bit better. This one doesn't have that, but there are aftermarket options that you can just put on. I actually have a video on my channel on some of those options, and yeah, that solves that issue completely. So yeah, of course the Elite controller is better, but if you want to save a lot of money, this is amazing. Let's talk about the performance of the controller, how it's performed for the last 4 months for me. I've played nearly every day. Not for very long sessions, but few games here and there. And I have to say, for the last 4 months that I've been playing, I didn't feel that the stick tension was any different since day one. The buttons have been all fine. It's performed really well. It's become my main controller. The reason I bought this, I was like, okay, a month later I will buy the Elite Series 2. Until such time, let's get this one, because it was only, I think it was on sale at the time for £40. It's usually for £49.99. And I didn't buy the Elite Series 2. And I will get it, hopefully, sometime. But even if I don't think I'm missing that much, apart from that one extra button at the back. So it's been very good in terms of performance. I've been very happy with it. And if anything changes in the future, I will definitely add something to the description of this video. But so far, so good. It's still exactly how it was on day one, and I haven't seen anything deteriorating. The grips, the thumbsticks, everything is still the same. Now let's talk about how I use this controller for the shooting games that I play. So mainly Halo or Call of Duty, Halo Infinite or Call of Duty Vanguard, and it was Black Ops Cold War before then. But those are the games that I play. So on my Series 1, the Elite Series 1, I had B and A on the left hand side and weapon swap on the right hand side. That's how I was just used to like for all this time, that's how I was playing. So when I got this controller, I only have 2 buttons at the back, so I have to decide what to map on the back button. So I decided, because it has different profiles, so for Call of Duty I have B on the left and Y on the right, so weapon swap. And B, I can crouch and run and slide there. And for Halo, just one change, I just put A on the back, so I can jump and shoot at the same time. It would be nice if there were 2 buttons, somehow they had like 4 or something, but I don't know. It's, that's just how the design of the controller is. I can't complain. And it works for me. I've gotten used to it, but if anything, to make it better, I could see maybe like Razer has these 2 extra buttons here. If they add those 2 buttons somehow, this would be an amazing controller. So that's the only thing that I would add. Also, I mean, it's not wireless. For some people that might be a deal breaker, but I think for the intended user, that is not a deal breaker. I think it's for somebody who's playing on a monitor, they're playing online with their friends or competitively, and they need those back buttons, and they need those dedicated buttons for their mic audio and their game volume. So I think that's what that's what this controller is for. If you are someone who sits far away from your screen, couch gaming, I mean, you could, the USB-C cable that it comes with, it is really long, it's like 10 feet long. You could use it, but I just think you might be better served with something else. It's not like it has any different kind of face buttons to the normal Xbox controller or, you know, to the Elite controller. It's very similar. So yeah, I think somebody who needs those back buttons and the volume controls, that's, you know, someone who should be buying this. Also, let's say you have an Elite controller or you have another Pro controller. This could be a really good backup option, because if you have a Pro controller, you'll be very used to using the back buttons or paddles for your gaming. So, and also when you're playing single player games, you don't want to put that time onto your Elite or another Pro controller, because, you know, they have a life. So if you could take that time off when you're playing a single player game and use something like this, so the longevity for your other controller could be, you know, could extend the life of that controller. Also, in my experience, if you're coming from an Elite, Xbox Elite controller, you're not going to feel, it's not like you have to learn this controller again. It feels very similar. And I have to say one thing. On the Elite controller, I used to have accidental presses on the Series 1. You know, sometimes if something happens very quickly, and I would accidentally press the, you know, the back pedal. With this controller, no, it is a very deliberate press, and it's not like it's really far away. You know, like controllers like Razer, Wolverine, Chroma V2, they have the things in the middle, so you really have to, like, actually, I think, have to go move your finger to really press them. But this is, the buttons are there under your fingers, and you don't have those accidental presses, which is amazing. But, like, in my opinion, I think that's the best feature. So let's talk about the negatives very quickly, very few. Like I said, no wireless, but, you know, for a lot of people, I think that's not going to be a deal breaker. And only 2 buttons at the back. So those are the only negatives that I have. And yeah, I mean, it'd be amazing if Turtle Beach could make like a different version with, I don't know, different, you know, provide with different sticks, like length of the aiming sticks, and maybe somehow find a way to add more buttons at the back, or even here next to the triggers, like Razer has those options. That would be an amazing controller. Well, that's it. I think that's everything that I think of the controller. I hope you find this information useful. And if you have any questions about this controller, or, you know, how it feels or whatever, leave a comment. And going forward, whatever other controllers that I do have, I will be, you know, reviewing them on the channel and comparing them to these. Like, you know, I would always compare them to the normal Xbox and an Elite controller, and well, this is mine now, so to this as well. Well, that's it from me. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.